Picture this. It's a quiet evening in 1950. A frail priest, his hands bearing the wounds of Christ, speaks to a small group of followers. His words, barely above a whisper, foretell a future of unimaginable turmoil. That priest was Padre Pio, and his prophecies for 2024 are about to shake the world. Fast forward to today. As global tensions rise and nature itself seems to rebel, Padre Pio's visions are becoming reality. What did this mystic see in our future, and why did he urge us to prepare our souls for the coming storm? Padre Pio, a humble Capuchin friar, was no ordinary man. Born Francesco Forgione in 1887, he became one of the most revered figures in modern Catholic history. But what set him apart wasn't just his piety, it was the mysterious wounds that appeared on his hands, feet, and side, mirroring the crucifixion wounds of Christ. These stigmata, as they're called, baffled doctors and believers alike for over 50 years. But Padre Pio's reputation goes beyond his physical manifestations. He was known as a powerful prophet, a man who could see into the depths of people's souls and glimpse the future. His predictions, often whispered to those who sought his counsel, have an uncanny way of coming true. Now, as we stand on the brink of 2024, Padre Pio's words from decades past are taking on a chilling new significance. His visions for the coming year are not vague generalities, but shockingly specific forecasts that seem to align perfectly with our current global situation. Consider this. In the 1960s, Padre Pio predicted the rise of a godless society where morality would crumble. Look around today, from the erosion of traditional values to the increasing secularization of society. His words ring truer than ever, but that's just the beginning. Padre Pio also foresaw great upheavals in the church, warning of a time when Satan would come to rule a false church. With recent scandals and divisions rocking religious institutions worldwide, one can't help but wonder if we're witnessing the fulfillment of this prophecy. But perhaps most striking is Padre Pio's accuracy in predicting world events. He foresaw the end of World War II, the rise of communism, and even the election of Karl Wojtyla as Pope John Paul II, decades before it happened. Each prediction, once dismissed as the ramblings of an eccentric monk, has come to pass with startling precision. So what does Padre Pio see for 2024? His first warning is enough to send shivers down your spine. He spoke of a great warning that would come to humanity, a moment when every person on earth would see the state of their soul as God sees it. This event, he said, would be a final chance for repentance before a series of catastrophic events unfold. Imagine it, a world where suddenly everyone is confronted with the truth of their actions, their sins laid bare. The implications are staggering. Would society crumble under the weight of this revelation, or would it spark a global spiritual awakening? But this is just the first of 10 prophecies Padre Pio made for 2024. As we delve deeper into his visions, we'll uncover predictions that touch on every aspect of our lives, from the highest levels of government to the very fabric of nature itself. And speaking of government, Padre Pio's next prophecy takes us into the tumultuous world of global politics. He foresaw a time of great upheaval, where long-standing alliances would crumble and new powers would rise. As we look at the current state of international relations, with tensions rising and old orders being challenged, we have to ask, are we on the brink of the political revolution Padre Pio predicted? Imagine waking up to find the world's political map completely redrawn overnight. Impossible? Not according to Padre Pio. His prophecy for 2024 speaks of a shift so dramatic it makes today's heated debates look like a gentle breeze before the storm. As we stand on the precipice of a new year, the global political landscape is a powder keg waiting to explode. Tensions simmer between world powers, alliances strain under the weight of conflicting. Interests and the very foundations of democracy seem to tremble. It's against this backdrop of uncertainty that Padre Pio's warnings take on a chilling new significance. The revered mystic spoke of a time when the pillars of power would crumble, leaving chaos in their wake. But what exactly did he see? Some interpret his visions as pointing to a collapse of long-standing political systems, while others see hints of a new world order rising from the ashes of the old. Consider the current state of affairs. Major powers engage in a delicate dance of diplomacy and aggression. Economic uncertainties loom large, threatening to topple governments and reshape alliances. And let's not forget the wild card of technological advancements, capable of shifting the balance of power in the blink of an eye. Experts in global politics have long warned of the potential for sudden seismic shifts in the world order. They point to historical precedents, the fall of empires, the rise of new superpowers, as evidence that such changes are not only possible, but inevitable. Could 2024 be the year when these predictions come to fruition? Padre Pio's vision aligns eerily well with these expert opinions. He spoke of a time when old alliances would dissolve, replaced by new and unexpected partnerships. He foresaw a period of great confusion, where the rules that have governed international relations for decades would suddenly become obsolete. But the most shocking aspect of Padre Pio's prophecy is yet to come. He didn't just predict change, he warned of a specific event, a political earthquake that would send shockwaves across the globe. The nature of this event remains shrouded in mystery, but its impact, according to the saintly mystic, would be undeniable. Some speculate that this event could be tied to a major world power, perhaps the fall of a government, the rise of a new political force, or a conflict that redraws national boundaries. Others wonder if it might be something more subtle but equally profound, a shift in global consciousness that renders our current political systems obsolete. Whatever form this upheaval takes, Padre Pio's words suggest that it will be a moment of reckoning for humanity. He spoke of a great chastisement that would follow, a time when the consequences of our collective actions would come due. It's a sobering thought, especially in light of the current global climate. As we peel back the layers of Padre Pio's prophecy, one thing becomes clear. The political landscape of 2024 may bear little resemblance to what we know today. The mystic's words paint a picture of a world in flux, where the old rules no longer apply and new paradigms emerge from the chaos. But there's more to this story. Padre Pio's vision doesn't stop at global politics. In fact, his most startling prediction zeroes in on a specific event that many believe could be the catalyst for this worldwide upheaval. And it's happening right in the heart of the world's most powerful democracy. The United States stands at a crossroads, with an election looming that promises to be unlike any other in history. But beneath the surface of political campaigns and voter polls lurks a far more ominous reality. Could this be the moment Padre Pio's most terrifying vision comes to pass? As the world's most powerful democracy prepares to choose its leader, the stakes have never been higher. The 2024 U.S. presidential election isn't just a national affair. It's a global event that could reshape the destiny of nations. And if Padre Pio's prophecies hold true, it might just be the trigger for a series of world-altering events. But how exactly does this humble friar's vision connect to the American political stage? The link lies in the uncanny parallels between Padre Pio's warnings and the current state of U.S. politics. He spoke of a time when a great nation would be divided, its people torn between light and darkness. Sound familiar? History has shown us that elections can be more than just political contests. They can be turning points, moments when prophecies seemingly come to life. Think back to the election of Abraham Lincoln, which many saw as fulfilling biblical prophecies about the end of slavery. Or consider the rise of Donald Trump, which some claim was foretold in ancient texts. Now, as we approach 2024, the political landscape is rife with potential prophetic figures. Could the next president be the leader Padre Pio warned would lead many astray? Or perhaps the election itself is the catalyst, setting in motion a chain of events that will reshape our world? The mystic's words take on a chilling new meaning when we look at the current crop of candidates. Each one seems to embody a different aspect of Padre Pio's vision. One promises sweeping changes that could upend the established order. Another speaks of a return to traditional values, echoing the saint's warnings about moral decay. And still another seems to represent the very forces of division Padre Pio foresaw. But the true shock of Padre Pio's prophecy lies in its specifics. He didn't just predict turmoil, he warned of a particular outcome that would send shockwaves across the globe. What if the election results in a way no one expects? What if the very foundations of American democracy are shaken to their core? Imagine a scenario where the election results are disputed, leading to widespread unrest. Or perhaps a dark horse candidate emerges, completely reshaping the political landscape overnight. These aren't just idle speculations, they're potential fulfillments of Padre Pio's dire warnings. The mystic's vision culminates in a shocking revelation about the election's aftermath. He spoke of a time when the eagle will lose its wings, a cryptic phrase that many interpret as a prediction of America's fall from its position of global dominance. Could the 2024 election be the event that sets this prophecy in motion? As we ponder these possibilities, we must also consider the broader implications. Padre Pio's warnings don't stop at political upheaval. They extend into the very fabric of our society, painting a picture of a world where the boundaries between right and wrong become increasingly blurred. And so, as the clock ticks down to Election Day 2024, we're left with more questions than answers. Will Padre Pio's prophecies come true? Will the American election be the spark that ignites a global transformation? Only time will tell. But one thing is certain. The eyes of the world, and perhaps of history itself, will be watching closely as America makes its choice. While all eyes are on the ballot box, Padre Pio's most terrifying prophecy for 2024 is already coming true, and you might be part of it without even realizing. The mystic friar warned of a darkness creeping into the very soul of society. Could his vision of moral decay be the key to understanding the chaos we're witnessing today? Padre Pio's concerns about moral decline weren't vague musings. They were specific, urgent warnings about the fabric of society unraveling before our eyes. He spoke of a time when people would forget the virtues that bind us together, when the very foundations of community and family would crumble. Look around you. Do you see the signs? Padre Pio identified specific areas of moral concern that seem ripped from today's headlines. He warned of a lack of charity towards others, a growing heartlessness in our interactions. In a world where social media arguments and real-life conflicts dominate our daily lives, hasn't this prediction come true? But it gets worse. The mystic friar foresaw a breakdown of family life, characterized by immorality and the perversion of youth in schools. Today, we see families struggling to stay together, divorce rates skyrocketing, and heated debates about what should be taught to our children. Are we living in the very world Padre Pio feared? The statistics paint a grim picture. A 2022 survey revealed that 70% of respondents believe moral standards are subjective and can vary from person to person. This shift towards moral relativism is exactly what Padre Pio cautioned against, when right and wrong become a matter of personal opinion. Where does that leave us as a society? Padre Pio's vision goes even deeper. He noted that societal behaviors would shift towards a focus on pleasures such as eating, drinking, and dancing, leading people to forget the chaste lifestyle as taught by God. Sound familiar? In our modern world of instant gratification and constant entertainment, have we lost sight of higher virtues? Experts argue that the decline in community engagement and the rise of individualism are contributing to this moral decay. Studies show that participation in community organizations has dropped by 25% over the last 2 decades. As we become more isolated, more focused on our individual desires, are we fulfilling Padre Pio's dark prophecy? History offers a chilling parallel. The fall of the Roman Empire, one of the greatest civilizations in human history, was marked by increasing decadence and moral corruption. Are we following in their footsteps? Padre Pio's warnings echo the lessons of the past, painting a picture of a society on the brink of collapse. But what are the consequences of this moral shift? Padre Pio's vision doesn't stop at describing the problem. It warns of dire outcomes. He spoke of a time when the breakdown of morality would lead to widespread chaos, a world where the bonds of trust and community that hold society together would snap. Imagine a future where kindness is seen as weakness, where family is an outdated concept, where the pursuit of pleasure trumps all other considerations. This isn't just a moral crisis, it's a recipe for societal collapse. And according to Padre Pio, it's a future that's rushing towards us at breakneck speed. The mystic's final warning on this topic is perhaps the most chilling. He foresaw that this moral decay would pave the way for greater calamities. As if the breakdown of society wasn't bad enough, Padre Pio hinted at natural disasters of unprecedented scale waiting in the wings. Could it be that our moral choices are somehow connected to the very forces of nature? As we stand on the precipice of Padre Pio's prophesied moral abyss, we must ask ourselves, what other dangers lurk just over the horizon? The answer, according to the saintly friar, lies in the unleashing of nature's fury on a scale we can scarcely imagine. As the moral fabric of society unravels, another dire prophecy from Padre Pio looms on the horizon. The humble friar's visions didn't stop at human failings. They extended to the very forces of nature itself. What if the disasters we're witnessing today are just a preview of the chaos to come? Padre Pio warned of a time when nature would turn against humanity with unprecedented fury. His prophecies speak of catastrophic events that would shake the earth to its core, leaving destruction in their wake. But could these visions be more than just the imaginings of a devout monk? Look around you. Wildfires rage out of control, consuming entire towns. Hurricanes grow more intense with each passing year, devastating coastal communities. Earthquakes shatter cities, and floods submerge vast regions. Are these simply natural phenomena, or are we witnessing the unfolding of Padre Pio's terrifying predictions? The mystic's words take on a chilling new significance when we consider current environmental concerns. Scientists warn that we're approaching critical tipping points in our climate system. Small increases in temperature could trigger catastrophic consequences, from the melting of polar ice caps to rising sea levels that threaten coastal cities worldwide. But Padre Pio's visions go beyond our current understanding of climate change. He spoke of a rain of fire that would cause people to tremble with fear. Imagine the sky itself seeming to ignite, raining down destruction on a scale we can scarcely comprehend. Is this a metaphor for intensifying wildfires or something even more terrifying? The friar's prophecies align eerily with historical patterns of societal collapse. Throughout history, civilizations have faced calamities interpreted as divine retribution. Are we seeing a repeat of this cycle, with our actions towards the environment inviting nature's wrath? Padre Pio's warnings become even more unsettling when we consider their duration. He claimed these natural disasters wouldn't be brief occurrences, but would last for 2 whole days. Picture 48 hours of unrelenting chaos as the forces of nature unleash their full power upon the world. What makes these predictions truly frightening is their specificity. Padre Pio didn't just speak in vague terms about environmental changes. He described events that would shake people to their core, forcing them to confront the consequences of humanity's actions. But why would nature turn against us with such fury? According to Padre Pio, these catastrophes aren't random. He specifically mentioned that when nature becomes angry, it signifies that God's day is approaching. Could our treatment of the earth be inviting divine judgment? As we stand on the brink of 2024, we must ask ourselves, are we prepared for the scale of disasters Padre Pio foresaw? Will our cities withstand the onslaught of nature's fury? And most importantly, is there still time to change course and avoid this terrifying future? The saintly friar's visions paint a picture of a world in turmoil where the very elements seem to rebel against human civilization. But even these cataclysmic events pale in comparison to what Padre Pio saw coming next. As nature's fury subsides, an even more terrifying prophecy awaits fulfillment. The chilling prediction of 3 days of darkness that would plunge the world into chaos. Imagine a world plunged into total darkness, not for hours, but for days. This isn't the plot of a horror movie. It's one of Padre Pio's most terrifying prophecies. As the world grapples with natural disasters, could an even greater threat be lurking just beyond the horizon? The mystic's warnings of 3 days of darkness have sent shivers down spines for decades. But what if they're more than just eerie predictions? Padre Pio's vision of the 3 days of darkness is a chilling prophecy that speaks of a time when the world will be engulfed in complete blackness. But this isn't just any darkness. It's described as a thick, impenetrable gloom that will swallow the earth whole. Picture a night so dark that even the stars are extinguished, leaving humanity fumbling in a void of nothingness. The fear and chaos such an event would cause are almost unimaginable. Imagine entire cities grinding to a halt, power grids failing, and panic spreading like wildfire. In this inky blackness, Padre Pio warned that demons would roam the earth, tormenting those who dared to venture outside. The very air, he claimed, would become poisonous, claiming the lives of those foolish enough to breathe it. But Padre Pio isn't alone in his dire predictions. Other mystics and religious traditions have spoken of similar events. Blessed Anna Maria Taigi, another Catholic visionary, echoed these warnings, claiming that only blessed candles would provide light during this terrifying ordeal. Those who looked outside, she said, would die instantly. Could there be any scientific basis for such a cataclysmic event? Some experts point to potential natural phenomena that could cause widespread darkness. Massive volcanic eruptions, for instance, could release enough ash into the atmosphere to block out the sun for extended periods. The impact of a large asteroid could create a similar effect, plunging the world into a nuclear winter scenario. But when will this darkness descend upon us? Padre Pio's prophecies are frustratingly vague on the exact timing. Some interpreters believe it could happen at any moment, while others link it to specific signs or events. This uncertainty only adds to the suspense, leaving many to wonder if each sunset could be our last glimpse of light for days. The nature of this event, according to Padre Pio, is both physical and spiritual. He described it as a time when hell will be loosed on earth, with terrifying natural phenomena accompanying the darkness. Thunder will shake the ground, lightning will scar the sky, and earthquakes will rend the earth. It's as if the very fabric of reality will be torn apart, leaving humanity trembling in the face of forces beyond our comprehension. But amidst this terror, Padre Pio offered a glimmer of hope. He provided specific instructions for survival during these 3 harrowing days. Stay indoors, he warned. Seal your windows and doors. Pray unceasingly, and most importantly, keep blessed candles lit, for they will be the only source of light that will pierce the unholy darkness. As we contemplate the possibility of such a world-altering event, we're left with more questions than answers. Is this prophecy a literal prediction of future events, or a metaphor for spiritual darkness? Are we prepared, not just physically, but spiritually, for such a trial? Padre Pio's warnings about the 3 days of darkness serve as a stark reminder of our vulnerability in the face of cosmic forces, but they also point to something beyond mere physical survival. As we transition to discussing spiritual preparations, we must ask ourselves, in a world that may soon be plunged into darkness, how can we cultivate the inner light needed to guide us through the storm? What if the greatest defense against impending chaos isn't something you can buy or build? Padre Pio believed he knew the secret to weathering any storm, and it's something we all possess, yet few truly harness. His advice might just revolutionize how we face uncertain times. In a world obsessed with physical preparations, Padre Pio's guidance takes an unexpected turn. While many stock up on canned goods and build underground bunkers, the humble friar pointed to a different kind of readiness. He insisted that true preparation begins within the soul. Pray, hope, and don't worry. These simple words form the cornerstone of Padre Pio's spiritual strategy. But what do they really mean in the face of potential global catastrophe? The mystic believed that prayer wasn't just a comforting ritual, it was a powerful shield against the darkness to come. Imagine a force more potent than any earthly defense, accessible to anyone at any time. Padre Pio taught that every grace comes to the soul through prayer. In his vision, a consistent prayer life wasn't just a nice habit, it was essential armor for the battles ahead. But what about when prayers seem to go unanswered, when the world spirals into chaos despite our pleas? Padre Pio had a shocking perspective on this too. He insisted that even in moments of apparent silence, grace is still flowing. Could our very sufferings, united with Christ's, be a hidden source of strength? History offers us tantalizing glimpses of faith's power in times of crisis. During the darkest days of World War I and the Spanish flu, communities found resilience in their spiritual convictions. Padre Pio himself lived through these tumultuous times. Did these experiences shape his understanding of faith's role in overcoming seemingly insurmountable odds? The mystic's advice goes beyond general spirituality. He recommended specific practices to fortify the soul, making frequent spiritual communions, praying the rosary daily, lighting blessed candles in times of darkness. These weren't just empty rituals in Padre Pio's eyes. They were practical tools for spiritual warfare. But can ancient spiritual practices really make a difference in our modern world? Surprisingly, experts in psychology are finding benefits to prayer and meditation that align with Padre Pio's teachings. Reduced anxiety, increased resilience. Could these be the very qualities needed to face an uncertain future? As we dig deeper into Padre Pio's guidance, a pattern emerges. His most crucial spiritual advice wasn't about grand gestures or complex rituals. Instead, he emphasized two simple yet profound concepts. Remain in a state of grace and trust in God's mercy. Could these be the keys to not just surviving but thriving in the face of prophesied calamities? Picture a world plunged into chaos where all familiar structures crumble. In such a scenario, Padre Pio suggests that our inner spiritual state might be our greatest asset, but cultivating this inner strength requires consistent effort. Are we willing to make the investment now before the storm hits? As we contemplate Padre Pio's spiritual strategy, we're left with a challenge. Will we heed the mystic's call to prepare our souls, or will we be caught unprepared when darkness falls? The choice is ours, but time may be running short. Yet even as we brace for potential tribulations, Padre Pio's visions weren't all doom and gloom. Amidst warnings of darkness and chaos, he saw glimmers of hope. What rays of light did this revered mystic perceive piercing through the gathering storm clouds? The answer might just renew our faith in humanity's future. History shows us that from the depths of despair, hope often rises like a phoenix. But Padre Pio's visions go beyond mere hope. They speak of a transformation so profound, it could redefine our understanding of faith and community. What did this mystic see on the other side of darkness? Amidst the dire warnings and apocalyptic predictions, Padre Pio's prophecies held a surprising twist. While he foresaw great trials and tribulations, he also glimpsed a future filled with renewal and hope. It's as if he peered through the storm clouds and saw a brilliant dawn waiting on the horizon. One of the most intriguing aspects of Padre Pio's hopeful visions centers around the upcoming Jubilee year in 2025. He declared it a year of Jubilee, focusing on the theme of pilgrims of hope. But what does this mean for a world potentially reeling from the chaos of 2024? Could this be the turning point humanity desperately needs? Imagine a global community battered by the storms of political upheaval and natural disasters, suddenly finding a common purpose. Padre Pio's vision suggests a renewed focus on faith and unity, with people from all walks of life coming together as pilgrims of hope. It's a powerful image, millions of souls, once divided, now united in their journey towards a brighter future. But is such a transformation really possible? History offers us tantalizing examples of societies rising from the ashes of crisis. Consider Europe after World War II. From the rubble of conflict emerged a new spirit of cooperation, leading to the formation of the European Union. Could Padre Pio's prophecies be pointing to a similar global renaissance? The mystic's teachings go even further, suggesting that the very trials we face could be the catalyst for profound spiritual renewal. It's a shocking perspective. Could the darkness we fear actually be the crucible that forges a stronger, more compassionate humanity? Padre Pio believed that even in our darkest moments, God's mercy has the power to transform individuals and entire communities. Picture a world where the boundaries that once divided us begin to crumble. Padre Pio's visions hint at a future where faith transcends traditional barriers, fostering a new era of understanding and cooperation. But how exactly might this manifest? Will we see a surge in grassroots movements dedicated to peace and unity? Or perhaps a fundamental shift in how we approach global challenges? One of the most striking aspects of Padre Pio's hopeful prophecies is his emphasis on collective prayer and intercession. He believed that through united faith and hope, societies could overcome even the most daunting adversities. It's a powerful reminder of the strength found in community, a strength that may prove crucial in the years to come. But what about the immediate aftermath of the predicted tribulations? Padre Pio spoke of a period following the prophesied days of darkness, a time of unprecedented peace and divine mercy. It's a startling contrast to the chaos that precedes it. Could this be the dawn of a new spiritual age for humanity? As we contemplate these rays of hope piercing through the gathering storm clouds, we're left with a profound question. Will we emerge from the trials ahead stronger and more united than ever before? Or will we succumb to fear and division? Padre Pio's visions offer a tantalizing glimpse of a renewed world, but realizing that future may depend on the choices we make today. The mystic's message is clear. Even in our darkest hour, hope remains. But it's not a passive hope. It's a call to action, a challenge to each of us to become beacons of light in a world that may soon be plunged into darkness. As we stand on the threshold of 2024, with Padre Pio's prophecies looming before us, one thing is certain: the future is ours to shape. As we've journeyed through Padre Pio's chilling prophecies for 2024, one thing becomes clear: the future is shrouded in mystery and potential peril. From political upheavals to natural disasters, the mystic's visions paint a world on the brink of transformation. But amidst the darkness, a glimmer of hope remains. Padre Pio's most powerful message echoes through time: pray, hope, and don't worry. These simple words carry profound wisdom for our uncertain times. As the world teeters on the edge of chaos, Could spiritual preparedness be our greatest shield? The stigmatic friar's warnings aren't just eerie predictions, they're a call to action. Are we ready to face the challenges that lie ahead? Will we heed the call to strengthen our inner light before the storm hits? As we stand on the threshold of a new year, Padre Pio's prophecies loom large. Will they come to pass, reshaping our world in ways we can scarcely imagine? Or will they serve as a catalyst for positive change, spurring us to create a better future? Only time will tell, but one question remains. In a world where the veil between past, present, and future seems increasingly thin, what role do prophecies play in shaping our destiny?